Sesko deal is dragging out for way too long. Way too long. We have finished the United States tour. The boys are coming back. I think next week we are playing our last game against Fiorentina before we take on the Giants. Before we take on Arsenal. We have not brought in Benjamin Sesko. There's just noise around Benjamin Sesko. And you know what? Manchester United needs to make a decision fast. Because I understand that Benjamin Sesko is the priority, or he's the one that we want. But this little dance, or this little thing that we have going on with Newcastle it's completely unnecessary, and it's not our forte. This is not what Manchester United do. We don't duke it out with another club. The strange thing about this whole deal is that the whole world knows that Manchester United want Benjamin Sesko. Newcastle want Benjamin Sesko. The whole world knows that Newcastle are the only ones so far who have been putting in bids. Why they're not being accepted, I don't understand. Because as far as I'm concerned, United have not put in any bid. We have not bid for Benjamin Sesko. The only thing that we are waiting for is that we are getting the green light from the player. And this is the thing that is now beginning to annoy me. This is the reason why I did not want to hold on to this deal like the Gyökeres one. Like, remember when I said Gyökeres, I didn't want to believe it up until he held the shirt. And then stories started coming out that he could come to Manchester United, and we all got excited. Then boom, he goes to Newcastle, he goes to Arsenal. Now we are in the same situation with Benjamin Sesko. It feels like we can sign this player. He feels so close, yet he's so far away. So, what are the stories? What exactly is happening right now? I'm going to break it down for you guys in the most simplest ways possible. I know the figures and what people are saying online could be confusing, but I'm here to simplify it for you. Between Manchester United and Newcastle seem like the team that should get Benjamin Sesko because of their interest, their pursuit, their unwavering, their relentless drive to get this player in. They are bidding. You know what I'm saying? They just had their latest bid rejected. They are bidding. Manchester United, we are not bidding. We are waiting for the player to give us the green light so we can go and negotiate with the player, with the club, which I do not understand. Because what we are used to is that the club goes in and does personal terms. They negotiate with the player. They speak to the player. It's like, yo, bro, look, there's a possibility for you to come to Manchester United. And we want you to be part of 1, 2, 3, this. You are going to play X amount of games. You are going to be the main guy. You're going to be this. You're going to be that. Like, you give him a breakdown of his role when he comes into the team. And he will sit there and think with his manager or agent or whatever and say, okay, look, we want, I want to play 30 games. And if I score goals, I want a bonus. Personal terms. That's why when we see a player agreeing personal terms with the club, we know that this is the next step. This is a good step. It's the right step in the right direction. Because what will move on from there, because we have already agreed personal terms with the player, it's not negotiating with the club. Now, if you have the money, you can give the club the money that they want. If you are trying to do this negotiation thing where you dance. But normally, you just go in and give. So we are here at this position right now. There is no report that I have read that says that Manchester United have put a bid. I have not seen it. We have not been rejected. As for Newcastle, on the other hand, they have been rejected. They placed a bid in. In fact, the amount, if we end up getting Benjamin Sesko, Newcastle should not feel bad. They should not feel some type of way or anything like that. I'm sorry. This is just a Manchester United thing. It's the pool, it's the club. There's nothing that you could have done. Because when I look at the two clubs who are going in for this player, we are the most lazy. We are the most lazy. We are just sitting there and trying to be Real Madrid-ish, where we are like, we're waiting for the player to communicate with us. Yeah. We want, which is true and fair enough, because that was being the model of the club. We want players that want to come to Manchester United, not this little thing. Now, the more this deal drags on, I think I'm starting to understand or see why maybe Arsenal pulled off from this deal and decided to go with Gyökeres. What's going on? What's taking so long? What is the deal? Why isn't Benjamin Sesko coming up with his idea? With telling us his preference? Because I kid you not, we are getting conflicting stories out there about where Benjamin Sesko wants to go and where he wants to come to Manchester United. His likes, the stories that we heard before. He likes how Manchester United are pursuing him. He's happy. He likes the plan. Blah blah blah. Then we look at Newcastle. Newcastle's splashing the money, and not once in those reports do we see a bid from Manchester United. So we don't even know how much Manchester United is going to go in for this player. What's worse is we already saw with Brian Mbeumo. That's the annoying thing. We already saw with Brian Mbeumo. Or what happened with Brian Mbeumo? Manchester United, they had the money. They had the money. They could have just paid. They could have just paid the money up front and we're good and done. And then Mbeumo, that game against Everton would have probably been his second game, not his first. Because you know what? He would have been in early. He would have started training with the guys. Now, here we are again with the same freaking nonsense. So, like I said, we don't know how much Manchester United are going to bid for Benjamin Sesko. We are at a critical stage where if United are to bid or place the bid for Benjamin Sesko, they need to give the amount that is required. Not this bullshit that they were doing with Mbeumo. Teasing, When Brentford said, look, we want 70, don't play. These guys are like, nah, we'll give you 55. 5 minutes. Hey, okay, you will not get the player. So Man United needs to go there, first of all, Benjamin Sesko needs to freaking make up his mind. The Premier League is starting in a week. Not this week, that other week is starting. We need our striker in. The sooner, the better. If not, we might as well move on so that we can look for other alternatives, because this is dragging the fans, the hopes, because we know right now as we sit here, we want a striker, we need a striker, but we need a midfielder. We need a midfielder. So, it's tricky. It's really tricky. And for me, I am getting annoyed because I just do not understand why it is taking so long. Look, be like Mbeumo, be like Cunha, right? You be like, look, I want United. No other club. Nothing. I want United. Now, there was a story that I read that this guy is trying to weigh up his options because, and this is even annoying me because it's taking so long. It's like he's trying to contemplate, because Champions League is the root of this evil. You know what I'm saying? In a sense that Benjamin Sesko wants to see a project that's going to keep him or give him Champions League football in longevity. You understand? So Newcastle are in the Champions League this season. It is not guaranteed that they're not going to win it. If they do, it's just going to be another glitch in the system. But again, he wants to go there. He wants to represent Newcastle. They're going to be in the Champions League. They're probably not going to be in the Champions League next season. And we are probably going to be in that Champions League. And as I have predicted, the way I have seen how we've gone about our business, with us missing out on Europe, we are making it into Europe next season, and that is it. There will be no looking back from there. We're just going to keep our United is going to keep on getting better and stronger as long as we stay in Europe. So that is the trajectory. That is where we are going. So if we're sitting here busy dilly-dallying with players that couldn't care less, like what are we doing? What are we doing? So United need to wrap it up. I don't know when we're gonna get a here we go. I don't even know when we're gonna get a whatever. I don't know. But it has to be this week. It has to be this week. And look, if let's say we were to get Benjamin Sesko, right? Is he gonna play against Fiorentina? Is he gonna be available? Like, is he gonna get enough time to train? Whatever. Because we've seen with Mbeumo didn't touch the ball like almost 2 weeks or some 2 weeks, not 2 weeks, but he spent some time without kicking the ball. And that game against Everton was his first ride out, and you can see he was a little bit rusty. So it's tricky, but let me just clarify. Manchester United want Benjamin Sesko. Newcastle want Benjamin Sesko. Newcastle are the only team between us that are bidding, that are placing bids. Their first bid has already been rejected. I think they're planning on placing their second bid. Whereas for Manchester United, we are waiting to find out the decision from the player. We're waiting to hear Benjamin Sesko tell us where he wants to go, whether it's Newcastle or Manchester United. If he chooses Newcastle, it is only then that Ineos and Manchester United are going to act and start negotiating with RB Leipzig. So that is the Benjamin Sesko situation, the saga in a nutshell. I hope I made that easy for you, because I understand some people. I can see in the conversations that we have, some people, I can see that they're reading, but they are not interpreting what is being presented. So moving on. The next player that I wanted to talk about is Rasmus Højlund. What's going on? Rasmus is saying that he's not going anyway, he's staying, and then at the same time, it looks like we're ready to get rid of him. Leipzig covered the player. They want the player. I think he suits them. That league. It's very. If Rasmus and this is how I look at it. Because I've seen some very top quality. I've seen some quality players come out from RB Leipzig. Very good players. And there's still some players down there. I mean, there's still Openda. Danny Olmo was from there. Xavi Simon is from there. Nkunku was from there. They've had a good pedigree of players. Very good of players. So if Rasmus was to go to RB Leipzig and shine, I think the sky's the limit for him. He just needs to go out there, because I'm telling you right now, this Manchester United jersey, and the thing is, it could have been any other club and Rasmus Højlund would have thrived. I swear to you. It is just Manchester United. Our name, our club is too heavy. It is too. You guys, you don't understand. You don't understand the gravitas. The weight. Huh? We are Manchester United. Like, man, our club is powerful. It is. When you are talking about one of those teams with history, rich history, it's us. We're not a small team. So for us to be in these little sagas, it makes no sense. So this Rasmus Højlund situation, we are seeing the game that he's playing. Unfortunately for him, it is like he was so frustrated. There was a time when in the game against Everton, did you see how he lost his mind when Dogu didn't pass? He lost his mind. But I don't know what is that. I don't know why is it that they don't feel like they can trust him. This is Rasmus Højlund's third year, his third season at United. By this time, he is supposed to have established himself. And I know that sounds a bit of a stretch. It's like maybe it's like I'm being a bit too harsh on the player, but it's true. By now, he's supposed to know how a lot of these players move. Yes, it has been a dysfunctional thing, but we're all dysfunctional. It doesn't mean that he's left out of it. Unfortunately for him, in this dysfunction, he's not standing out. So Rasmus Højlund, it looks like he's fighting for his position back at Manchester United. I don't know. The next player that I wanted to talk about, Jadon Sancho. Another one who, just Juve, Borussia Dortmund. We don't know where he's going to go. Yeah, he's saying he's going to take a pay cut, but I wish him well, but I can already tell you that this kid has messed up his career. This attitude, this behavior, yeah, he's trying to milk us, whatever. Good luck. With Sancho, I've never been so disappointed in a player to a point where I'm even disgusted. Like, man, I'm really disappointed. The love that I gave him, it's gone. Anthony, the next person to leave is Anthony, but it is not moving because Real Betis are trying to be fun. Anthony last season put them in very good positions. He played well. It was almost like a second coming. He was like a messiah. Anthony was he was the face of La Liga, ladies and gentlemen, because he was doing the business, scoring every other game. Betis are taking a piss because I don't think Manchester United are looking for too much. I think we've accepted that we're going to take a loss on Anthony. We're not going to recuperate all that money that we got, that we used to sign him. We know that, and Manchester United are trying to clear the books. So why are we not selling this guy? Why is he not gone? Why hasn't there been any movement? I'm hearing that this guy is determined to push for a move for Betis. He's cancelling everybody else. So what does that mean? What does that mean? You don't want to go anywhere? Look, if you players, including Garnacho, all these other guys, all these bad boys, these bad boys, if you don't find a club, hello, you are relegated to the under 23s. You will not see first team football. Yo, Ruben Amorim has spoken. If you don't find your club, you guys are going to be part of the United. You are part of Manchester. But you are not going to see the first team. You are not. So you better get yourself a club as soon as possible. Garnacho, I heard that the stories with Chelsea. Chelsea, I don't know what their plan is, but it seems like they enjoy struggling. When I say that, I mean they enjoy rebuilds. Because with all the players that they're buying, there's going to be that thing of adaptability again. These players need to get accustomed to the Premier League. Not all of them are going to fucking hit the ground running. Are they aware of that? Or is that what they're hoping? Or I don't understand. Because the Chelsea plan can completely go horribly wrong. Number one, and I'm probably going to be the only one that's talking about this, and this is not Chelsea TV, but Chelsea won the World Cup. There's an element of fatigue. They gave everything in that tournament. It took a lot out of them. Their holiday for the players has been short-lived. It wasn't long. I don't think they got the same holiday as everybody else. So the team is, well, let me not speak for them, but then this is how I'm just seeing it, because I've already, I see the team coming in drips and drabs. Maybe they're all there now fit, because I thought Real Madrid not so long ago, they reported for training. Can you imagine? Some people are playing their final games of preseason, while other people are reporting to training now, starting. Do you understand? Do you see where I'm going with this? So if you take long with your preseason, like if you if you drag it out in such a sense that you come to preseason later, that rebuild, that time that you got between the end of that preseason game and the beginning of the season, like when you have everything has been done, when that preparation, if that time is short, trust me, you're going to struggle. Now, I passed a joke when I was watching Chelsea during the World Cup. Anyway, I was talking to myself. I was like, you know what? The way Chelsea's moving, this World Cup team, they can take some extra time off. Because these guys are buying players. They can literally field a new Premier League team in the beginning of the season. Rest Palmer, Caicedo, all the guys that played in the World Cup, those guys rest them. Then just play. They could do that. That's how that was my joke. That's what I was saying in my head. Because I'm like, wow. But then now that is where the problem is. Because Chelsea, even the beginning when they started, they had this issue. Now with Manchester United, it is the same. We need to get everything, all our ducks in the row. We need to get the players that need to get in. The goalkeeper, the midfielder, the striker that we are so desperately in need of. We need to bring them in. Guys, Ruben Amorim has been here since last year, right? How many signings has he got? And this is supposed to be his first big season. How many signings has he got? I will wait. Dogu, Cunha, Mbeumo. 3. Make that make sense. This is a guy that you claim to back and support and then conflicting stories. Because Big Dan passed a very good comment in the WhatsApp group. He was like, these guys, because we're talking about this dance thing, he was like, man, Ineos have got money. And I'm like, I was like, dude, since when? These guys keep preaching to us all the time. He's like, nah, man, it's a balancing act. And he's saying it almost as if like he's got inside information, but I know he doesn't. But it also explains how we are making certain signings because, look, Benjamin Sesko is going to cost. Manchester United have been telling us they don't have money. This money, and even the gaffer said it in his interview. It's like the club is there's money, there's infra. Where has this miraculous money come from? Because last year, the ringtone that was coming out of Manchester United is that we've got no money, we are in debt. By December, we'll be bankrupt or broke. That was the melody that was being sung. So where has this money all of a sudden come in? Maybe, okay, competition, we made it to the Europa final, cool. Sales? How much sales are we making? How much sales have we done? So, Manchester United are dragging their feet. Omar Berrada sat there telling us that, nah, I've got a team in England that is working and what. Dude, you guys are coming back and we don't have a striker. We're still going to have to be dealing with Rasmus Højlund. Look, man, I understand, but I hope you guys have a plan. In fact, I've seen your plan. It is a masterpiece. It's a masterpiece of a plan if it works. But if it backfires, Ineos are in trouble. They're in trouble. Thank you everybody for listening to the Glory Rest podcast. It's your boy, Don Benito.